you're currently following a vegan diet, or you think that it's good for your health or good for anything really, you have been lied to. And I don't see the vegan diet being an answer for anything, not for sustainability, not for, the environment, for ethical reasons, or for your health. Definitely not for your health. And I will talk about all these things in today's video, and hopefully it will be very clear at the end. If you disagree with anything, make sure to comment down below, because I'm always open-minded. I'm always ready to have a debate and hear other people's opinions and facts, of course. But the thing is, which I want to make very clear, is that I do have a lot of respect for vegans, because I think most vegans are trying to do the right thing. They're trying to improve themselves, their health. Maybe they do it for ethical reasons or for the environment. They think that it's a good thing to do. So I do have a lot of respect for vegans in that way. And I think also that the vegan diet is the first step to a proper human diet. The first point, which I want to make, is, the vegan diet being terrible for your health. And I think this should be very obvious, also for people who've been on the vegan diet, or especially for them, because you will not get all of your nutrients to survive on a long-term basis, but to really feel good and for your body and brain to function properly. There are lots of vitamins and nutrients that you need to get from the animal kingdom, and I think the best example is something like vitamin B12, which is so important, which is so critical for your brain functioning. And most vegans are deficient in vitamin B12. But it's not only that you don't get all of your nutrients and vitamins from a vegan diet, also the protein quality, for example, is absolutely trash coming from plants. You cannot compare protein gram for gram from plant sources to animal products. When protein comes from plants, it's not bioavailable at all. Like, your body cannot absorb and utilize most of the protein that comes from these plant sources. And one of the reasons is that plants, they have a lot of anti-nutrients and they have a lot of toxins. So when Anthony Chaffee, for example, or other carnivore advocates talk about, plants trying to kill you, plants being bad for you, that's a cold fact. And if you don't know about this, you should definitely look it up. And it all makes a lot of sense, because we humans, we animals in the animal kingdom, we can run, we can fight, we might have claws, we can defend ourselves physically. But plants, they're stationary, and this is why they build up defense chemicals. So it makes sense that the plants, they try to make themselves as poisonous and as unhealthy as possible for the animals that try to eat them. And talking about toxins goes into my next point, which is that most vegan foods today are processed. They are filled with chemicals that you can even pronounce, and that is not natural or healthy in any way. And the reason for this is that, over the last decades or so, this plant push and the vegan push has, of course, increased dramatically. And a lot of companies have decided that they want to capitalize on this opportunity, which is fairly obvious. And this is the reason why we have seen a lot of more, processed meat, for example, like vegan meat, to try to copy things from the animal kingdom that you can't get. And all of these, if you go to the store, like almost every single product has a vegan version of it. And you see just more and more products saying that, having the labels of vegan and this. So of course, a lot of companies want to capitalize on this, and there's not that much you can do with fresh fruit or vegetables. So it's a lot more profitable. It's a lot easier to get people hooked, addicted on these vegan processed foods. Like, you're putting in chemicals that have been made in the last 20 years or so. Like, that logically, that cannot be very healthy for you. Personally, I would only eat foods that we humans have been eating for millions of years. Okay, so then we come to the ethical and the environmental arguments, and I think that these makes a lot more sense. The healthy standpoint, I think that there are no good arguments, but if you're doing it for ethical reasons, for example, I can see that point. All right, so there's a few problems I still have with this. First of all, I think that the meat industry being so bad for the environment is kind of overblown. And the reason why I think this is that it's very one-sided. So you have a lot of people, a lot of companies funding studies to show that the meat industry is absolutely terrible for the environmental, for global warming and everything. But then when you dig a little bit deeper into it, that might not be like the case, because I think that it should be pretty clear that a lot of things that is like consensus, and a lot of things that the mainstream media is just rotating and just saying over and over again. I think more and more people are waking up to the fact that it's always not true. So I would be a little bit skeptical about it. I like to look at the other side as well, because when you need to grow all of these crops, you need to basically kill a lot of biodiversity. You need to cut down a lot of trees, and you will kill a lot of insects, a lot of smaller animals. So just think about all those animals, that biodiversity dying out. I think that like we are killing away a lot of species at a record rate every year. So there's a lot of side effects of growing all of these crops that you need if you're eating the vegan diet. And also when it comes to an environmental aspect, I'm not saying I have the straight answer for this, but if you just think about it, is it better to have cows locally and eat them, and other animals have chickens, eggs, or is it better to have all these huge fields and grow all these crops and then transport them all over the world, package them in plastics, and using all of these resources to move all of these vegan products around? Is it really better for the environment? Because when I go to the grocery store, there are 60,000 different products. 99% of them are all plant products. And if you think about all the resources, all the plastics, all the packaging, everything that goes into all these plant products, it's quite a lot. If you only were to have, let's say, animal products, it wouldn't take up too much space. It would be pretty simple. But now in today's society, we have a lot of products, all kinds of products that are vegan products, and that have the labels of being very good for the environmental and stuff. Because I know that there are many farms, local farms, that are carbon neutral. And of course, if you talk about the ethical standpoint of how you raise the cattle, for example, you should 100% do it in a ethical way, and that is what I support. Like personally, I try to always buy organic where I know that the animals have been living a good life, a stress-free life, because that will be better for the animals, of course, but that will also be better for me. And if I can get wild game, for example, I'm always eating that. I'm all for ethically sourced meat. But another very important thing to remember is also that most of our disease today, and most people feeling ill or sick or whatever, it comes from our diet. Our diet affects like our body and brain so much. And if we are eating, for example, a vegan diet where we're not getting enough nutrients, we're not like supplementing with everything, so we're getting deficient, our brain is not working properly, and we are getting more often sick. This will also take up a lot more resources, because just think about it. Just think if everyone, the whole population would be healthy. The whole population would have a very good mental health, would be very sharp, and in good like physical condition as well. We would not need to spend as much resources, time, energy into dealing with all this sickness and disease that we have today. But if you still for some reason think that the vegan diet is a good idea and you want to be vegan, like fine, I'm fine with that. But a problem that I have is all the brainwashing, all the people telling you that you need to be on a vegan diet, like otherwise like you're hurting the animals, it's so bad for the environment, it's so good for your health to be on a vegan diet. I think that is absolutely the worst thing you can say to someone, like especially for kids. If you're a parent and you're putting your kid on a vegan diet without them really understanding it, I think that is actually immoral, because it's a fact that kids who don't get enough of animal products and nutrients, they will be less intelligent, they will have actually smaller brains, and they will physically also be shorter and smaller. So I think it's immoral to put your kids on a vegan diet, for example, and not giving them what they actually need. And I think it's kind of a problem, because I think most people, most parents who go on a vegan diet, they probably don't know all about this. And I thank you very much for watching. Please comment down below if you disagree or if you agree with anything. I'm very happy to have an open discussion. But if you want to keep on learning about a appropriate human diet, I will watch this video next. And like and subscribe if you think this message is important. Eat meat, take care, and have a lovely rest of your day.